We are really excited to be here. Thank you for having us here to share with you a little bit about our programs. As Dr. Little said, Adult Education and Family Literacy Month is actually September, but a specific emphasis is next week, September 24th through the 28th. And so I asked Dr. Talley and Dr. Little if we could come share a little bit about what we do at Adult Ed. I know that many of you have come to our graduation ceremonies that I've been a part of over the last 2 years. And I can tell you I've been in education for 22 years, and what we have done, or what I've been a part of in those graduation ceremonies, is by far in the top 5 things that I've ever done in education. So if you haven't been there, and if any of you have not been there, we would strongly encourage you to come share with us in those ceremonies. The next one will be August the 8th, so we've got a little while, but we'd love to have you. So this is Marla Hamilton. She's going to share a little bit about the Parenting Center and the Family Literacy Program, but I want to share with you just a second about some of the quick facts about where we are located, Adult Education and the Parenting Center. We are located at the Rosenwald Community Learning Center, and on the left side you see the facilities that we have in Adult Ed. We've got 5 instructional classrooms. One of those is a portable that Chris Rabin over AES has graciously giving us an opportunity to take over that portable. We have 2 rooms for office space. Again, one of those is also a portable. We have 1 computer lab with 15 computers in there. Last year alone, we served 388 students in that facility. So we've got a lot going on in there every day. If you ever drive by, especially Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, those are our busy days. There is not a parking space left in our center over there. So Marla's going to share a little bit about the Parenting Center classrooms and then tell you a little bit about her program.
Thank you for the invitation to come here tonight. I oversee the Family Literacy Program, and we have, with Lexington School District 1, been a part of the State Family Lit program since the late 80s. I think it was 88 and 89. Lexington 1 was picked as a district, one of 21 districts that actually participated in a pilot program, and over the years, the things that we've done through the state and the requirements have become a little more intense. And you see there that in 2004, the requirements for a family lit program were to include adult literacy, which would obviously be adult ed and parenting, early care education, parent education, and interactive literacy activities. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those components just so that you know what we're doing at the Parenting Center. This is, Brian and I, we're talking about putting this together, and we actually had a lot more people on that program staff than we could actually recognize on that slide. My staff consists of 4 parent educators, including myself, and 2 early care educators, and I'll let Brian talk in a little bit about his staff. But that slide just represents the people that we depend on to report numbers for family literacy and also to implement the program. I put the mission statement on here. You're all familiar with the overall vision of Lexington 1 to empower each child to design the future. The reason I put that up there is because the Parenting Center and Adult Ed are responsible for also assisting and supporting parents in the district and also the children that are preparing to go to school or that the parents are preparing to go to school. So I thought it was important to add that. We extend that mission a little bit. I put that one up there because we like that new logo, because empowering parents to be their child's first and most influential teacher is something that is in our curriculum and has been for years and years. These program goals are goals that both Brian and I are required to meet each year for the Family Literacy Grant. The first one is to provide an intensive parent education program focusing on the parent's role as their child's first and most influential teacher. We use a program, it's a national curriculum called Parents as Teachers. The 4 parent educators have been certified and trained in parents as teachers for the past approximately 15 years for some of us. And it's just important for you to recognize that we do use an intensive weekly curriculum with our families. The second one, vigorously promote literacy, academic achievement, goal setting, and decision-making skills for all family members. The reason I wanted to emphasize that is because we do promote literacy with our parents through providing books for them at our ILAs, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. We have a very strong partnership with the Lexington Main Library and the State Library, and we also partner with First Steps, and they provide every child that participates in our program enrollment to the Dolly Parton Library. So I think it's important that you know those things. We utilize instructional strategies that are based on scientific research and that are of sufficient intensity and duration to affect change. Obviously, a lot of what Brian's staff does and what our staff does fits that. I can speak to it from our staff. The curriculum that we use is based on the scientific research of the first 3 years of life and brain development at that time being the most critical time for a child to develop. So it's important for us to get to these families, get to the parents, and get to the children early in the first 3 years. Part of our goal is to support the school district in readying those children for school. Actively encourage participants to make shared literacy experiences a family priority. The reason they have this Family Literacy and Adult Ed Week is to make people aware of the fact that all families do not promote literacy in the same ways. And if we have an adult family member who suffers from some kind of literacy loss, 72% of our children are going to suffer from a loss as well. So we not only have to reach the adult, but we have to reach the adult in helping us train the child in literacy. So that's a real important portion or a real important goal. And the last one, develop strong employment readiness and retention skills necessary to achieve self-sufficiency in today's competitive job market. Our parent educators obviously are a support system and a resource system, but a lot of that goal and emphasis comes on Brian and his staff at Adult Ed. Program components. These have changed over the years. As I said, they've become a little more intense. There are 5 of them. One is early childhood. We call this early childhood, but a lot of people in our district would call this child care. We get a little offended when it's called child care, or even worse, when it's called babysitting, because we have trained workers, we call them early care educators, that actually come to us and they've been trained in the creative curriculum. If you're familiar with the creative curriculum, ours is for the 2s and 3-year-olds, and the creative curriculum is used in our 4K program. So it's a great transition into school. Adult Ed component is learner-driven and assists each parent in achieving his or her own educational goal. That kind of falls on both of us because we do set goals with our families. In parenting, we actually use a family model. It's a screening that we use with the family to set their goals, and at our visits, we follow through with those goals. The parenting component, whoops, that's okay. I got it right here. The parenting component, well, I don't know. Okay, thank you. Is designed to be both an informational resource and peer support group to participating families. We do have a small parenting portable that's designed just for resources. So when our families come in, we not only have resources for them to be able to connect to community resources, but we also have things available to them like a Spanish English library, and we also have another library. We got a big donation last year from just a private residence. a resident, and she delivered $1,500 of books to us. So we've opened our little library, and the parent educators chose to call it our Eaglet Library. So it's our little eagles. So we've got resources at the center. Interactive literacy, you'll see just a brief snippet of one of our interactive literacy sessions. We offer these 3 times a month. The reason we do them 3 times a month is intentional. We want to make sure that our families in adult ed have an opportunity to get to at least 1 interactive literacy session a month. This is designed for the parent and child. We have resources that we use. If you're familiar with what we used to have as weekly readers, there is a preschool version of that called My Big World. We use that with our families. We always focus around a book, and we always have someone from the library to do a story time with us. The personal visits, as I said before, that's through parents as teachers, and it does provide a one-on-one individualized visit with the parent and child so they know where their child is developmentally. It comes complete with screenings. We do ages and stages, which again our district uses to screen for the 3-year-old and 4-year-old programs. So we've been trained in those as well. These we just put in there to kind of personalize the program a little bit for you. These are some pictures of some of our personal visits. The one that I particularly like is the one on the right. It looks like she's holding a baby doll. That's not a baby doll, that's a real baby, and she is receiving her very first visit after the baby is born with PAT. And we discuss the importance of bonding with children. You'll see the way she's holding her. We talk about language development, and we talk about facial recognition. This is our multicultural program. We are celebrating 16 years this year with our partnership with the Lexington Main Library. You may have seen the marquees up there that say Dia de los Muertos and Feliz Navidad. These started out as a cultural program for mostly our Spanish-speaking families. However, we have grown over the years, and we now serve 5 or 6 languages at any given time in that early child care program. I just called it child care, early childhood program. So we definitely want to highlight the other languages as well. So you'll see families participate. They do their part. They come and they bring their food. They come and they do their dance. They come, and we have a great story time that's offered at that time. Gigi is usually the one that does story time in Spanish. We'll have somebody do story time in English, and all other parents, whatever language they speak, they will do the story time, which really for preschoolers gets pretty interesting, because one of the things I learned is that even animal sounds are different in all different languages. So it really becomes entertaining to watch those story time. Family lit collaboration with adult ed. We do offer that early childhood, but we only offer it in the morning sessions. So we're open 5 mornings a week, and you'll see those pictures are taken. The 2 at the top are taken from classrooms over in adult ed, and the one at the bottom, I think, was our year-end event last year. It was, we had Adventure come out and bring activities to do on the sidewalks of our parenting center, and the families enjoy going to those. School-based interactive literacy activities, I mentioned those before, or I mentioned the ones that we do at the center, but we also try to do interactive literacy at our schools. We enlist the help of our school librarians at the schools. We have them do the story time, we'll bring a lesson, and we do have an individual portable in Peoria. In Gilbert, we do a school-based ILA, but we just have that one in the library. Group connections, we are sponsored through First Steps. We're actually one of their vendors, as are all of the school districts in Lexington County. So every year they will sponsor a trip for us to go to the zoo. We go on a free Friday because we can all get in, and then First Steps pays for a lunch, and the parent educators provide the entertainment, we always put together some kind of scavenger hunt or some kind of activity that's related to literacy. And this one, we're going to need a little help from Josh on. This is just Maria Arroyo has been excellent. She's one of our parent educators. I didn't ask them to come tonight, but they came. She's excellent on getting our story out by tweeting the different ILAs. So this is just one example of an ILA, and then she tweeted this out. This one is on seeds. It's kind of like an early STEM activity. Oh, no. Okay, and I think the next slide is back to Brian.
All right, thank you, Marla. I've got a couple things I just want to share with you about our adult education program and exactly how we run that. And we've got 4 basic programs through adult education. We've got a high school diploma program, GED preparation. We do English as a second language classes. And then we have a free Thursday night computer class that we offer to the community, which I took some flyers and some information out to food services when they had their beginning of the year meeting and our transportation staff, and our classes just blew up for this session that we're doing now. We've probably had 20 to 25 at each one of those sessions, which is a lot more than we generally have. So that's had a renewed interest in there. A little bit about each one of those. Our high school diploma program, we use Edgenuity just as our high schools do. We have course offerings in all the core subjects. We have students that come to us and will do those through Edgenuity from home. We have 6 certified staff members throughout the district that act as our teachers of records for those core courses and can meet with students when they're having if they're having issues, needing some extra support, they can meet with those and work through those together. Our GED prep classes, our main program is Monday through Thursday from 9 to 12 right there in our center. We have 2 classrooms that we use for that. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, first of all, let me tell you, the Monday through Thursday is GED preparation. The Tuesday-Thursday class is for students who are what we consider pre-GED. They're working on literacy skills. They're not quite ready to take the practice test and to engage in the GED testing. So we're working on some of the basic skills with that group on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also have an evening class Tuesday and Thursday nights from 4:30 to 7:30. And again, we do reading and math, and we also hit social studies and science, which are the 4 components of the GED. We have 5 staff members that work in as instructors in those programs. Our ESL program, we changed things a little bit this year. We're going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 12. We have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced class offerings for those folks. We have 4 current staff members that are working as instructors for that program, and then also they join our Tuesday, Thursday evening classes with the GED. We changed that schedule for them, 5:30 to 8, gives some folks, a lot of times our folks that take advantage of those classes in the ESL program at night are ones who are working all day and then come to us at night, so we recognize that and moved it from 5:30 to 8. So just some quick data about what we have done last year. Last year we served 148 students in our GED program throughout the morning and evening programs. We had 81 students enrolled in our diploma track program, 158 students served through our ESL program. There's supposed to be another part of that slide right there that says ages 18 to 79 is our oldest ESL student that we work with. So same thing with the GED program. Our students are anywhere from the ages of 17, and the highest or the oldest GED student that we had this past year was 53. So high school diplomas earned, we awarded 26 high school diplomas through our program and 39 GEDs, and those are the folks that you met when you came to graduation. Family literacy data, Marla's got some numbers here for you. We had 23 students that participated in the early childhood program, 28 families enrolled in First Steps, and in those interactive literacy activities, the ILAs, she had 95% attendance for those weekly activities, which is fantastic that those students of mine that are in adult ed and their children could meet together and work on literacy activities. 18-19, this current school year, what our data looks like so far, we've got 80 students enrolled in our GED program, 78 enrolled in the diploma program, 75 in ESL. One thing that I'm really proud of is we worked with some of our high schools this summer, some of our students who didn't quite make it across the stage at our high schools. They came to me and finished through adult education, and 8 of the 11 diplomas that we have awarded this summer helped our schools improve their graduation rates this year. So it was a really good partnership with some of our local high schools and their administrators. And I could tell you a whole lot about our program, and I could go into each of my staff members. I could tell you how much I love my job. I absolutely love my job because this is my heart right here. You don't know my story, but my story includes some of the same struggles that these folks have gone through. I failed the 4th grade and I failed the 9th grade when I was growing up. Some of that was my problems. Some of it was just some other issues that we had going on. But I see these students walk into my door every day, and I immediately connect with them. And I share my story with them. And these are 4 of our success stories over the last year and a half that I've been involved in adult ed. If you look on the left side, that's Deborah. Deborah came to us in April of 2017, 43 years after she dropped out of high school. She's 58. She sat through graduation ceremonies. Her 3 daughters graduated. She was our graduation speaker a couple of years ago. You may recognize her from that. But she sat through graduation ceremonies with her daughters and cried her eyes out at those ceremonies. Number one, because she was so proud of her daughters. Secondly, because she realized at that moment what she had given up when she dropped out of school 43 years before that. So she came to us in April. She worked with our teachers in the night program for about 3 months, passed all 4 sections of the GED, and accomplished a bucket list item for her. So we were real proud of her. The second picture is a gentleman who grabbed my heart a couple of years ago in my previous job. His name is Quintel. Quintel and I go way back. We met several times. He had a bit of a struggle in our traditional high school settings and decided that he wanted to come to adult ed and work on his GED. Met with him, taught with him, worked him through our morning program. Quintel graduated, passed all 4 sections of the GED, and he is now enrolled at Newberry College, working on a business administration degree.
Awesome.
He is a fantastic story of perseverance and overcoming obstacles. Some of the obstacles were his own doing, but just like me, he has done that. The next picture right there is Kaylin. Kaylin had some family issues come up when she was 17. She moved out from her home and got married at a very young age and came to us in our diploma track program needing 8 credits to graduate. She completed all 8 of those credits, but what makes her such a story to me is February 13th of 2018, her husband and her grandfather were killed in a car accident. I'm going to get choked up just thinking about this, but got killed in a car accident. At that point, she had completed 4 of her courses with us. She was pregnant and due in August and wanted to make something of herself so that her child would have a better growing up environment. So she buckled down through all that adversity and finished her last 4 credits with us. She graduated with us in May, and she is now enrolled at Midlands Technical College seeking a nursing degree. So she is another fantastic story. And then the last one is Rosa. Rosa is one of the folks that Marla and I have shared. Last year, she came to us for GED preparation and was a single parent. She took advantage of what we have to offer for family literacy. And through the screenings that Marla talked about a little while ago, not only did she finish the GED with us, but her child is now involved in our 3K program and our early intervention programs because of the screenings that Marla and her staff did. So these are just 4 stories. I could tell you story after story of students. This is what drives me to do what I do every day and why I love my job. Thank you for letting us share with you tonight. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Brian.